Hi mamas, welcome back to the Up Dog Yoga Mama Studio. We're here for your week 2 class. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. As a reminder, blocks or books, bolster or couch pillow, and then I luckily don't have my baby or my toddler in the studio today, so I have brought along my little prop bear to demonstrate some moves that we can do with baby. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll begin in our favorite reclined butterfly position with the bolster or your pillow. So we'll go ahead, get the bolster set up at the back of your mat. Come and sit in your butterfly position to begin. So bottoms of feet touching, knees wide, bolster pulling in towards the tailbone. Again, don't actually sit on the bolster. Go ahead and recline back over that. And relax the arms down by your side. Let's start with 3 big rounds of breath here. Breathing in through the nose. Open mouth, let it go. 2 more rounds of breath. Breathing in, expand the belly. Pull the breath up into the ribs, expand the ribs. Pull the breath up into the chest, all the way up into the head. And then slowly release that breath. Last round, breathing in. And sigh it away. Now let's come to some Ujjayi breathing today. Breathing in and out of the nose only. If you have a regular yoga practice, you're very familiar with your Ujjayi breath. If you're just getting into yoga or returning after a while, Ujjayi breath is where, as I said, we breathe in and out of the nose only, but we slightly constrict the base of the throat. So the muscles are slightly constricting so that when you exhale, you hear that hissing sound. It sounds like a hiss or like an ocean. And this breath is purifying. So it purifies the air as it comes into the body. Purifies the breath as it leaves the body. Leaving the air within you and around you clean and pure. This is also a heating breath. So if at any time you become a little bit too hot, especially when our hormones are still settling, sometimes we can get heated easily, feel free to find some open mouth exhales and that'll release heat from the body. Otherwise, enjoy this loud, audible breath while you're on your mat this morning. No matter how many times you need to stop and start, if a little one calls you or needs you, just stay with this Ujjayi breathing the whole time. And today, as we flow, as we work together on our mat, we're going to work through the concept, the yogic concept of ahimsa. So this is non-violence, with a little bit of compassion mixed in there. So in the concept of motherhood, we're going to take ahimsa to mean compassion toward ourselves, especially in these beginning years, these beginning weeks, these beginning months of becoming a mom of 1, a mom of 3. Whatever birth has brought you onto your mat with me today. We want to treat that new level of motherhood with compassion. Being easy on ourselves, being forgiving of ourselves, and knowing when we need to soften. Soften to ourselves, not just soften in our language and our emotions to our children, but also to ourselves. So as we sit here and set the tone for your practice, I invite you to explore that concept of ahimsa and how you could maybe be a little bit more compassionate and forgiving to yourself, and maybe how you could reflect that onto your mat and just practice that through your asanas this morning or today, whatever time of day you're practicing with me. How could you meet your energy level and acknowledge where you're at and move with that energy? How could you do that just a little bit more compassionately today? Take just 2 more rounds of breath, allowing the chest to gain that little bit more space, allowing the hips to open just slightly here as you relax in this beautiful position. And as you're ready, we'll roll off to the right side if that works for you. Otherwise, the left side is fine. Rolling off of the bolster, coming all the way off into that fetal position, and just pausing here for a moment. Closing off into this beautiful bubble, acknowledging the time that you've given yourself today and being thankful for that. And then we'll come to roll back on your backs. Move the bolsters off of the mat. And then once you get onto your back, hug the knees into your chest. And from here, we're gonna give that lower back massage a go. So we're gonna push the lower back really firmly into the mat and then circle the knees around, allowing that lower back to receive circles all around the sacrum. So really firmly pushing that back down, just giving yourself a nice gentle massage here to start the practice. That's it. And let's start with an easy little twist. Just simply drop the knees to the left, arms go wide. Take 3 rounds of breath on each side of your twist. And roll the knees over to the other side. Again, 3 rounds of Ujjayi. Breathe. Coming back on backs, hugging the knees into the chest. Let's begin to rock and roll up and down the spine, building up momentum here with each rock and roll. We'll take about 3, so after the third, roll all the way up, cross the legs, and find your way up into a tabletop. So again, tabletop, shoulders over wrist, and hips over knees. Today we're gonna do cat and cows from our tabletop position. So we'll begin with a cow. Relax the belly, open up the chest, roll the shoulders back. As you look up, take a breath in. And then cat back, scoop the pelvis up to the lower ribs, scoop the belly up, and then separate the shoulder blades as you tuck the chin to your chest. Exhale, finding that cat back. 4 more rounds, let's move with the breath. Inhale, create cow, fully relaxing the belly. Exhale, create a cat back, releasing tension from the upper back here as you breathe out. 3 more rounds. Start to bring the pelvic floor into this. So relaxing the pelvic floor completely on the cow. And then lifting that pelvic floor up as you scoop the belly up for your cat back. 2 more rounds, breathing in, open up to the front of your room. Breathing out, slightly contract and lift that floor up. Last round. Inhale to the front and exhale to the back. Coming into neutral. Let's find our pointer pose. Extend the right heel back and up behind you. Keep the hips level here. Feel the core slightly active here. Now you can stay here or you can extend that left arm out in front. We're gonna breathe in and lengthen through the left fingers and back through the right heel.
And then exhale, see if you can hug that elbow into your knee. This is just an option. You could stay balancing with the arm and the leg out, or even just the leg out. Gonna take 2 more rounds of this. Breathe in. Exhale, if you're coming with me, elbow comes into your knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, hug it in. Stretch the arm and the leg out. Place the left hand down. Bring the ball of the right foot now over to the left side off of your mat. We're gonna get a nice little side body stretch here. I want you to press into the right heel of your hand and then look back over that left shoulder. So looking back all the way to that right heel, the more you press into the heel of the hand and the more you press that heel of your foot down towards the earth, you're gonna feel this beautiful stretch. One more round of breath. Lift that right heel up, bring the right knee underneath your right hip and rock those hips from side to side. All right, other side. Left heel extends out behind you, right arm extends out in front of you. Again, you could stay here or you could join me tapping elbow into knee. We're gonna breathe in to create length and then we're gonna exhale, hug it in. Inhale, create length. Exhale, elbow comes into knee. Last time, inhale, exhale. Stretch out the arm and the leg, then place just the right hand down. Now we'll place the ball of the left foot over towards the right side. Now press the left heel of your hand into the mat as you look over that right shoulder back at your heel. And now the heel of that foot isn't gonna come down to the earth, but you wanna feel that action happening. So you're firmly pressing the ball of the foot into the earth. And again, the more you press in through the foot and the hand, you're gonna feel that stretch through the side body. One more round of breath. Lift that left heel up, place the left knee down and rock it out from side to side. All right, setting up for our first down dog. We've got our toes tucked. Let's lift those hips high, push the chest back to the thighs. Now let's walk it out from side to side. Do whatever movement here feels good to you. Starting to really connect into that body now. So we've stretched the body out just a little bit so far. So checking in with how you're feeling through the wrists, through the shoulders, through the hips and the ankles. How is the energy flowing through the body this morning? Coming into stillness now, I want you to relax the head. I want you to push the chest further back to the thighs. At the same time, I want you to lift the hips up to the sky, looking between the knees or the big toes, wherever your head and your eyes naturally glance towards. Feel the inner thighs rolling up and back. So really embrace this down dog as an active shoulder release. It's really working deeply into that shoulder girdle. I know I'm holding you here for a little bit at the beginning, but I want you to enjoy the energy this is bringing into the body and the release of tension that's coming out of the body. All right. Let's walk the hands back to the feet. Keep the feet hip width. Here we're coming into ragdoll, our forward fold, our passive forward fold. Knees are bent, hips are still lifting up high. Arms can relax down to the mat, or you can grab opposite elbows. We're going to take 3 rounds of breath here. Using this as an opportunity to ground into the mat through the 4 corners of your feet and grip onto the mat through the toe pads. Let's begin to roll up into your tall mountain. Take your time to get there. Roll those shoulders back. Reach the arms up overhead. Big breath in. Exhale, hands to heart, open mouth. Tall mountain, inhale, reach it up. Forward fold, exhale, flow the hands down towards your feet. Let the legs be a little bit more straight now, a little bit more of an active forward fold. Come into a halfway lift with hands onto your shins, working to get the spine parallel with the mat below, working to get the shoulders away from your ears. Flatten out the back, breathe in. Exhale, walk the hands back into down dog. Once you get into down dog, push the chest back towards the thighs, lift the hips up high. stepping forward into a halfway lift. Take one big step forward if you can, otherwise a couple steps will get you there. Halfway lift, inhale, forward fold, and exhale. Tall mountain, inhale, roll up, reach up, breathe in. Exhale, hands to heart with that open mouth. Tall mountain, inhale. Forward fold with your breath out. Fingers down to toes. Halfway lift, extend the spine, flatten the back. Bring the hands down against the mat, step back into your high plank. We're gonna fully engage the body here. So the knees can be lifted up off of the mat, or the knees can be down and the heels can be up. Wherever you're at, we're gonna take 3 more rounds of breath here, and I want you to really scoop that belly up. So meaning you gotta scoop the pelvis up to the lower ribs, separate the shoulder blades just slightly here, and lengthen out through the back of your neck. You're strong, you're active, you're engaged. Breathe, mama. Inhale. Slightly come forward, bring the knees down, and let's lower all the way down to the mat. Nice work. Baby cobra. Lift the head and the tops of the shoulders up. Roll those shoulders back. Take one more breath in with me. And down dog. Tuck the toes, push back towards the knees. Then let's lift those hips high. Moving into our sun salutation B. Take a big step forward, halfway lift. Forward fold. Grab your block or your book, place it between the knees. You have 2 of them. Chair pose, sweep the floor with the fingertips, squeezing onto the knees as you create your chair squat. Now I want you to lengthen down through the lower back. Put the weight into the heels. Smile the collarbones to the front of the room. Arms are framing your face, or hands are at heart space, depending on where your energy is at. Stay with me for 2 more rounds of breath, maybe going a little bit deeper into that chair pose. Staying for 1 more inhale. Forward fold on the exhale. Release the block from the knees. Halfway lift. Take a big step back with this left leg. Coming into a high lunge, a crescent lunge. Inhale, stretch the chest and the arms up. Now, once you get lifted up, let's perfect this lunge for your body. So you're gonna push the left hip flexor forward, hug the right hip back and in. So now we've got our hips square. Let's relax the shoulders. We don't need tension there. We're strong in the legs. You're up high on the ball of the back foot. But as the energy starts to roll up the body, the energy relaxes, it becomes lighter. Finding that ahimsa in this pose, it's a powerful pose, absolutely. But where can it be a little bit more forgiving? Where can you meet that energy in this pose? Find 1 more inhale. Exhale, bring the hands down to frame the right foot. Step the left foot up into halfway lift. Take an inhale. Exhale this right leg back into your high lunge. So the left foot is forward. Inhale, chest lifts, arms stretch up high. Relax the shoulders down. Squaring hips off. Find this circle of energy here. So you feel the back side relaxing. So the shoulder blades melt down towards the back of your pelvis. And then the front line creates energy. So that pelvis scoops up to the lower ribs. That energy hugs in and reaches up into the fingertips. And then it melts down the back. And it scoops up the front. That natural circle of energy here in the body. Stay for 1 more round of breath. Breathing in. Exhale the hands down to frame that left foot. Take a big step back into your high plank. Either knees stay lifted or knees come down, and we begin our vinyasa. Always slightly come forward, then low plank, coming all the way down to the mat. Full cobra or another baby cobra. So full cobra, the hips stay down, but the chest lifts up, the sternum lifts up. Stay with me for 1 more inhale. And down dog as you exhale. Let's do 1 more sun B. We're gonna do 1 round of breath per main movement. All right, step forward, halfway lift, inhale. Forward fold and exhale. Chair pose without the block, 1 round of breath. holding for the inhale. Forward fold on the exhale. Halfway lift, breathe in. Left leg steps back for crescent lunge. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, square off. Stay for one more breath in. Exhale, flow the hands down. Step this left foot up into a halfway lift. Step the right leg back into your crescent lunge. Big step back. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, square off. Stay for the breath in. Exhale, find your way down through low plank. So knees can stay lifted or knees can come down. Maybe you want to come into up dog. If so, you're going to hover in low plank. Then you're going to push the chest through the arms, leaving the hips and the thighs off of the mat. And then down dog. See if you can roll over the toes as you breathe out. Taking one more round of breath here. And child's pose. Coming down onto the mat with knees wide, arms stretching out in front of you, forehead relaxes down. Taking a few breaths here to notice how the energy is now flowing through the body. Remembering that intention, stay compassionate with yourself. To practice that ahimsa. We'll stay here for 2 more rounds of breath before we meet back in down dog. And once you've finished your 2 breaths, you can meet me in down dog. So making your way out of your child's pose as you're ready and setting up for your down dog shape. Maybe using tabletop. I always promote using tabletop to set you up for down dog. And please make sure that your fingers are spread as wide as they can. Point your fingers pointing forward. Grip onto the mat with the finger pads. And so this is just going to protect your wrists here. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up, and push the chest back towards the thighs. I'm going to move forward just a little bit on my mat there. And we'll take just a couple rounds of breath here, getting strong and stable in your downward dog shape. Always make sure that you feel the outside of the body long. So you're long from the pinky fingers down to the pinky toes. The outsides of your legs are long, hips are high. Outside of your outside of your arms are long, chest pushing back to thighs. That's it. All right. Let's lift the right leg up into the sky into a 3-legged dog. Keep the chest pushing back to the thighs. Now, if you're newly coming out of pregnancy and birth, keep the hips square. If it feels okay, you can open up the hips, stacking them on top of one another, and maybe bend the knee. Keep the chest pushing back to that left thigh and the shoulders squaring off. Roll the ankle just a couple times to release some tension from that ankle joint. And now let's level the hips and lengthen the leg. Take a breath in. And then exhale, step the right foot in between the hands, coming into a crescent lunge. So the right foot in between the hands, chest and arms, lift up to the sky. Square those hips off, relax those shoulders down, and breathe. Take an inhale. And exhale, hands to heart space. We're gonna lengthen forward on the breath in, and then twist to the right on the breath out for a twisted crescent lunge. So the left elbow hooks outside of the right knee, and then use that advantage of elbow pushing against your knee to then push hands into the center of your chest, into your heart space. And now see if you can look to the side of the room, or if you can even look all the way over that right elbow, that right shoulder. Keep that right hip hugging in. Keep that pelvic floor lifting up to give you stability here. Stay for one more breath in. And exhale, come back through center. Nice work, reach the arms up overhead. Take an inhale and crescent moon as you exhale. So our back knee is lifted up. You can always come back down at any time that you want a little bit more stability here though. Stay for one more inhale and exhale, and then breathe in, reach the arms up. We're going to reverse the lunge. So you're gonna leave the left arm lifted up, but sweep this right arm back and down that back leg. And now lift up through the left fingers and back through the left fingers. So you get that really nice stretch down through the psoas and the hip flexor. Now you can look to the front of your room, the side, or all the way to that back heel. Stay with me for one more inhale. Exhale, revolve the lunge. Left hand comes down inside of the right foot, right arm stretches up to the sky. Option to have a block or a book underneath that left hand as you get this really nice open space through the chest and twist through the core. So last week we spoke about how our twists help to tone the organs and tone that uterus back into its intended shape and place. So really embracing that here as we breathe for one more inhale. And exhale that right hand down, framing that right foot. Runner's lunge, so really activating the core here, broadening through the collarbones, feeling it in that right thigh. I feel it too. Breathing in. Exhale, step this left foot up, forward fold, finally straightening those legs. One more round of breath in our forward fold. And then chair pose. Sweep the floor with the fingertips. Reach the arms up to the sky. Put the weight into the heels. Now, you often hear in a yoga class to scoop the pelvis up, to scoop the bum up. But I don't want you to think about disappearing the bum. What I want you to think about is an active lower core and a long lower back. So that's the shape that you're creating here. Breathe in. Put the weight into the right foot and start to find stork pose, lifting that left knee up into the chest. So the right leg is down and straight. The right foot is strong and grounded. The left knee is lifting up into your chest. Relax the shoulders down. Stay with me for one more round of breath, focusing on that balance. Breathing in. And now kick it back into warrior three. So you're just gonna slowly transition here, kicking that left heel back behind you, straightening out that left leg. Keep a micro bend in that right knee as you get stable. Keep the hands at your heart space as you get stable. You could always bring the hands down in front of you onto blocks or your mat for a bit more stability, and then you could always fly arms behind you for a bit of fun. You're working to get chest, shoulders, hips, heel, all in one line into a capital T shape. Stay with me for one more inhale. Big step back into your crescent lunge. Reach those arms up. Woo, I'm feeling it. Stay for one more breath in. Exhale down through vinyasa. Hands down, right foot back, high to low plank. And then inhale, opening up into cobra or up dog. Down dog on the breath out. Let's take 3 rounds of breath before we go on to the other side. You can always take a sip of water at any time. You can always come into child's pose at any time. All right, let's come on to the other side. So that left leg lifts up. Now, option to keep the hips square, or if you feel like it's okay for your hips to open them up, stacking them on top of one another, keep that left foot flexed. Keep shoulders squaring off to the right thigh. Bend the left knee, maybe, and then roll the ankle, releasing some tension caught into that ankle joint. That's it, level hips, lengthen leg, take an inhale. Exhale, bring that left foot in between the hands. High lunge, crescent lunge. Inhale, stretch the chest up, reach the arms up. Square off and breathe. Stay for one more breath in. Beginning twisted crescent lunge with the breath out. Hands come down through heart space. Lengthen forward on the inhale, twist to the left on the exhale, hooking that right elbow outside of the left knee, the left thigh. And again, push hands down through heart space here. So you don't want to feel like you're hunched over here. You really want to feel like the chest is open, the heart is lifting up to the sky, the crown of your head is reaching forward. Stay with me for one more round of breath. And then come back through center, reaching those arms up to the sky. And now we'll reverse the lunge. Right arm stays where it is, but the left arm goes back. So you're gonna stretch up through the right fingers and then back, getting that nice stretch down through the right side body. Maybe looking back at that back heel. Breathing in and revolve the lunge. Right hand comes down inside the left foot. Left arm stretches up. Remember, you could always have a block underneath that right hand because you want to feel lift here. I want you to feel grounded in your poses, but I don't want you to feel like you're sinking into them. Always find that balance of lifting up and lightness. Stay with me for one more inhale. Exhale that left hand down, framing that left foot, coming into runner's lunge. So we're smiling through the collarbones. We're hovering on the inside, just above that left thigh. Stay with me for one more round of breath, feeling like a runner in the blocks, ready to take off. Breathe in. Exhale, step that right foot up, forward fold. Finally getting a little bit of relief in that left leg. An opportunity to come back to that intention of ahimsa, treating yourself with compassion, practicing that on the mat, maybe carrying it off the mat today into your daily life. All right, we're gonna come into chair pose. Again, keep those feet hip width, chair pose. Breathing in, exhale, settle into that squat. Feel that energy between the knees, squeeze onto that energy. Weave that energy in and up through the body. Put the weight into the heels. Open up more space into the chest. Stay with me for one more breath in. And exhale, start putting weight into that left foot. Finding stork pose. Lifting that right knee up into your chest. So left foot is down, right knee is lifted. And we are breathing. Relax those shoulders. Let's keep hands at heart space for our stork pose. You always do have the option though to reach arms up overhead. Lift that pelvic floor up. Hug that belly button in. So Mula Bandha lifting, Uddiyana Bandha active. Finding your way into Warrior 3 now. Slow and steady transition. Start kicking that right heel out behind you. Again, core is strong here. That's where your balance is coming from. You're trying to get shoulders, hips, and heel into one line. Remember, you have the option to bring hands down to support you as you balance. You have the option to keep hands at heart space or maybe fly arms behind you into a bit of an airplane. Finding one more round of breath. Go a little bit deeper into the pose. Kick that right heel up. Inhale, big step back. Crescent lunge as you exhale. Reach those arms up. Stay with me for one more breath in. And then exhale down through your vinyasa journey. So high to low plank, cobra or up dog, and down dog. One round of breath here. And child's pose. Coming back into your breath. Back into your intention. Back into that mindset to honor the space and time you've given yourself. And we'll stay here for 3 more rounds of breath. All right. And after you've taken 3 rounds of breath, we'll come to lie onto our backs. And before you get there, one thing that I want to make sure that I forgot to mention at the beginning of our class is that you have a strap with you, or some kind of strap, or it's just an option. So you don't need it quite yet. If you have a yoga strap, great. If you have a strap that you put around your mat to carry it around, those will probably also work. Otherwise, you'll be fine without it. But I wanted you to go ahead and get that now so that you don't have to interrupt your flow otherwise. So we'll come to lay onto your back. We're gonna do just a little bit of core work here before we start cooling down our practice. So starting on your back, you're gonna start with your knees bent and your heels in line with your knees over your hips. So we're gonna do heel taps. So this is a safe postnatal core exercise as we work to bring the abdominals back together. So we weave that center line back in, and it's safe to do if you have any ab separation, any diastasis recti. So this is safe to do, the heel taps with the knees bent. Now, if you're feeling extra strong and great and you want to start with legs straight and do your heel taps, that is totally great. Again, if your abs are still separated though, please don't do legs straight. Please do knees bent. All right, so we're gonna do 10 heel taps on each leg. So we're gonna breathe in and then exhale, tap that right heel all the way down, and inhale, lift it up. Left heel goes down on the breath out. Left heel goes up on the breath in. We've got 9 more. Right leg down and up. Left heel down and up. For 8. Left leg. For 7. Six. For 5. For 4. For 3. For 2. For 1. Go ahead and lift those legs up into waterfall for just a moment. Getting that nice balance of hormones here with the legs. Lift it up straight. Relax the breath down. Maybe you feel those legs shaking a little bit. And now let's hug the knees in towards your chest. Nice work. All right, so now is when you're gonna grab your strap. We're gonna come into a reclined leg stretch. So I like to have a really big loop in my strap like this and create a hammock for my body. So I will show you the version that I like to do, and then I can give you an alternate version. Again, if you have a yoga mat strap that straps around your mat, you could also create this with one loop going around the foot, and then you would hold on to the other loop with your hand. So otherwise, if you have a big strap like this or a big rope, you're gonna strap one side around the arch of your right foot, and then watch out for the buckle of your yoga strap. Move that to the side a bit, and you're gonna put the other side of your strap around the back of your head where your ponytail would be. And then you've got your left leg out straight. So this is a reclined leg stretch, getting some length here through the right hamstring. By keeping this left leg out straight, you're getting that added bonus of a little bit of length here through that left hamstring. And again, we're just letting the strap do all of the work. Now, if this hammock variation is just not your jam, or if you're using a strap that you use to carry your yoga mat, the way that would be is you would have the loop around your right foot, and then with your hand, you're just gonna grip and grab onto that strap. Now, the only reason I don't promote this one, but it's totally fine if you prefer this one, I don't promote it because you're using your hand and your arm to hold that foot in place, and you're creating just a bit of tension into that hand and arm. So because we're coming into the yin portion of our class, I don't like there to be any unnecessary tension in my yin practice, so that my whole body can focus on where the asana needs to focus. So in this case, it's my hamstring, it's my calf, it is the backside of my right leg. I don't have to do anything else here. Let the strap do the work and breathe. Take a few more breaths, really slowing that breath down, maybe finding some open mouth exhales if you built up a lot of heat to release some of that heat from the body, but then coming back into your Ujjayi breathing. And then we'll come onto the other side. So there's a couple of variations of ways that you can get onto the other side. I like to just leave my strap behind the head, lift my left leg up, and bring my right leg down. Of course, you can come completely out of the position and then recreate it on the other side. So once you get nice and settled, relax the shoulders away from the ears, let the palms of your hands slightly turn up. I invite you to shut the eyes down. If you've got bub with you, they could be lying onto your chest. They could be lying next to you, up against your shoulders. When we come down and we slow down on our mat, it's a really nice opportunity for you to engage with bub, especially the little ones, even the big ones. Because you're in this kind of playful state with them, just be mindful that you do have your legs suspended in the air, so make sure you're feeling safe. I always like to say, play smart, not hard. A lot of times just laying on the ground with little ones is enough to amuse them. You don't have to sing any fancy nursery rhymes or do any puppet shows. You can literally just lay on the ground with them and let them slobber all over you and pull your hair, and they are super happy about that. At least mine are. We'll take one more round of breath. And then we'll remove the strap from the head, from the foot, and go ahead and lie down onto your mat. Just lying in stillness here into this Shavasana position for a few rounds of breath, letting the body absorb that adjustment that you gave it. So in our yin postures, because we hold them for a little bit, it's nice to take a few breaths after those poses to let the body adjust. All right, and we are going to come to a standing position. So you can roll on to either side, maybe your left side since we rolled onto our right already. Push yourself up and come to stand next to a wall in your space. I'm going to move my bolster out of the way here. So coming to stand against a wall and face the wall. Just get my strap put away for now. All right, so standing against a wall, you're going to place the arms out in front of you against the wall. Walk away from the wall until the elbows are straight. We're going to come into what's called down dog with a wall. Essentially, you're just going to walk the legs back until the arms come down in line with your hips. Now you've got two options here. You can keep the head and the chest in line with the arms, or if you want to deepen the release of tension in your shoulders, you let the chest sink below the arms, the chest and the head. So this is a fantastic posture to do when you have a little bub in the house, even a big one. So this is really targeting releasing tension from all of that kyphosis that occurs in that first year specifically of motherhood. But really, the bigger they get, I have a 2.5-year-old at the moment, and carrying him around is a task. So a 2.5-year-old and a 5-month-old is what I'm currently working with, and this pose is so good for me. It's great to do against the crib or the cot, whatever you prefer to call it, or against a wall in your house. Just once you get your little one down or your big one down, come against a wall, come against a crib, and find this position and let the wall do the work for you. A micro bend in the knees here. Relax the head. Stay here for 5 more breaths. Getting those shoulders back into alignment. Getting some space through the chest. I can really feel it in my left shoulder. My kids prefer the left side. I don't know if you have a side that your kids prefer more, but if so, you're probably feeling it more in that shoulder. All right, we're going to slowly come out of this. Bring the chest back in line with the arms if it's not. And then start to walk the feet slowly towards the wall. Relax the arms down by your side. Stand in stillness for 5 breaths. And now we're going to come into a clock arm stretch. So you're going to start with the right arm. Bring the right arm straight against the wall in front of you, pressing that right arm out straight. So make sure the elbow is nice and straight here. And then we're going to turn away from the arm. So start to turn to the left, turning all the way away from the arm, or until as far enough away so that you feel that really nice stretch going down the inside of your arm into your fingers. There is a loud crow outside of the studio right now. So I'm sorry if that's being picked up right now. All right, we're gonna roll that left shoulder back. Make sure that that left shoulder isn't caving in. So doing your down dog with the wall and then your clock arm stretches, I absolutely advise doing this one daily, if not multiple times a day, especially if you're in those first 6 months where you're just really on that high feeding regimen, high baby nurturing regimen. You're just always in that position of holding and nurturing a baby. This is one of the best things you can do to counteract that, to still keep a little bit of space happening in those shoulders and to try and help those shoulders come back into their intended position. We'll stay for 2 more rounds of breath. And then we'll start to turn back towards that right hand. Relax the right arm down by your side. Take 3 breaths here. And the left arm comes out. Again, make sure that elbow is straight. This isn't really gonna work if that elbow is bent. Start to turn to the right away from that left hand. And again, roll that right shoulder away. So as I mentioned, when we were in that supported down dog, my kids love the left shoulder. So I feel this so much more in my left arm than I did in the right. So again, I don't know if that is your story. I'm actually able to not even turn as far as I did with my right arm. It's crazy the effects that happen in our body from just simply being a mother. But we are here now on our mat, giving time and space back to ourselves. We are here now practicing that bit of ahimsa. So again, that literal translation means non-violence. We're not obviously going out into battle or anything like that, but we are learning how to treat ourselves with a little bit more compassion. That's what we're interpreting ahimsa to mean in this phase of motherhood, in this phase of our life. Because we know that the more compassion we treat ourselves with, the more compassion we then have within us to send out to our children, to our family members, to anyone else around us, even the postman. All right, we'll take 2 more breaths. And then let's turn back to that left hand and relax that left arm down by your side. Take 2 more breaths in the stillness. Maybe the hands and the arms feel a little bit tingly, so letting all the blood start to flow through the body as it's intended. And we'll come back onto our mat and start really getting nice and relaxed as we move in towards Shavasana. So before we come into Shavasana, we're gonna do a supported fish pose. So if you've got a block or a book, go ahead and grab that. Place that at the back of your mat. So we're gonna have that in between our shoulder blades and we're just gonna lay out flat. So I advise this lowest level. If you are familiar with supported fish pose and you wanna try this middle level of your block, go for it. This middle level is gonna target the chest and that space between your shoulder blades plenty though. And you're just gonna have the head laying flat onto the mat. So go ahead and feel that block or that book in between the shoulder blades. You might have to move it around a little bit and then bring the head to relax back onto the mat.
Arms just relax down beside you. And it's as simple as that, Mama. You just lay here and again, let the prop do the work. So here we're just targeting that chest. Again, a lot of our postures that you'll see here in the studio are for counterposing that baby nurturing position. So kyphosis is what naturally occurs when that upper back starts arching and begins to take on that shape even when you're not nurturing bub. So here we're counterposing that and just bringing in a lot of nourishment into the upper body here. And find just a few more rounds of breath, really starting to slow that breath down. And then we're going to make our way into Shavasana as you're ready. So in any of these yin postures that we do at the end of class, if you want to hold them longer, you go for it. So coming off your block, just rolling to the side briefly, removing that block to the side. And then for your Shavasana today, I'm going to promote putting a bolster or a pillow underneath your knees. So this is really nice for the lower back. So getting that set up underneath your knees, still lying down. Again, if you have bub, you could give them a hug and hold them onto your chest as you lie here. There's nothing more soothing and comforting, I have to say, than that warmth of your little one against your chest. So if they're wanting a bit of attention, go ahead and give them that, and you guys relax together in your Shavasana. Go ahead and get everyone relaxed and set up here. So either you're holding on to bub or you've got arms relaxing down by your sides. Those palms of your hands and the inside of your feet just slightly turn up, just that natural turn up of the palms of your hands and your feet. Slide the shoulders away from your ears. Let the breath return back to natural. Let the belly soften. Unclench the jaw. Relax the forehead. Start to feel a wave of relaxation wash down and over your body. Feeling that wave roll over your chest, down to your fingers, over the knees, and down to your toes. Everywhere the wave has touched, it leaves lightness and softness behind, allowing the whole body to be soft now. Allowing the thoughts of the mind to be gentle, to be light. Enjoy your Shavasana. Much time that you have, for it. If you have more time in your Shavasana, feel free to stay here and press pause on this video. Otherwise, join me in starting to come out of your Shavasana experience. Finding a bit of movement, finding some deeper inhales and some deeper exhales. When you're ready, in whatever way you like to get there, find your way into that comfortable seat where we'll end our class together. There's no rush in getting into that space. And as you do come out of your Shavasana, let the eyes be heavy, if not closed. Finding your way into that comfortable seat. Once you get there, sit up tall, open the chest, bring hands to heart space. Leaving hands here for compassion. Compassion that starts with ourselves and is then able to extend out to our little ones and those around you. Namaste.